Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Steven's Sausage Roll, where it has happened after spending, I don't know, probably like 40 minutes messing around with this. I have, in fact, come to a solution. I had a lot of different thoughts. I tried a lot of different things, but in the end, the line of logic I was on last time I was in this puzzle when we were together here on camera is the right one. And I'm going to walk you through my thought process here, and then we're going to try to reconstruct this point from the beginning of the puzzle. But you probably remember I was talking about trying to figure out a solution where we roll the two sausages, one on top of the other, north here to cook the bottom one, and then we somehow recover the top sausage and ride it back. And how frustrating it is that I have to be without my fork in order to be able to move up here to start the pushing and rolling process. Well, I had talked a lot about how obviously having them stacked exactly on top of each other doesn't work because one of the spaces needs to be free to have me roll it, to have me be able to stand on top of it so we can roll it. And obviously, standing on the right side of the sausage while the top sausage overhangs it on the left doesn't help because I have no way of retrieving the top sausage once we get over there. But I also thought this wouldn't work because, first of all, forks on the wrong side of the sausage, right, as a necessity of the way that we get over here, and also the sausage doesn't roll with us because it's on solid ground. But I don't know. I think I had just maybe when we were here, I had not yet discovered the idea of sticking a fork in the sausage and then rolling the sausage to switch sides, or maybe I just I had all the pieces, but I wasn't quite seeing how they connect. Because what we can do, and I did not realize this would work until I did it. I was literally just listening to music and trying everything. When I roll this sausage up like this, it never falls because Steven just catches the fork on the roll. And then once you've done this, you can it works, right? Once you've done this, that's the solution. And then we can push this thing. Oops, sorry. Push this thing over to here, drop it onto the grill all at once, walk onto it, and bam, that's a solution. Provided, I guess I didn't double check this. Yes, you can, in fact, get off of this platform with the fork. Okay. Yeah, that's all there was to it. The problem was just, I didn't, I got to the point where we stopped the video and I was like, but that'll never work. And so I stopped thinking about what would have to happen from this point forward because in my head, we're already at this is broken. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to stop a step short like that. But okay, let me see if I can reconstruct this from the beginning. It is kind of a lot of walking. It's kind of a lot of carefully preparing positions. But what we have to do is end up with the stabbed sausage on top of the other sausage, right? So that is a sausage that is stabbed from the top, being dropped on. So a sausage that is stabbed from the top, it'd have to be from the top right. So this thing here has to go. I know that one's going to get moved around too. Has to be right here, right? So that we can stab it from the top right, walking up the ladder. And then that's going to mean this sausage needs to be in the fall position right here. No, here. Because we have to be able to get off of the sausage afterward, obviously. How did I do this before? Okay, you know what? We don't have to actually prep this all the way yet. What we can do is get it to pretty good, drop this thing, and then go back and finish the positional setup. Yeah, because we do that, and then we just walk around. Okay, then we step you over to here like that. I remember thinking oh, there's no way to get the sausage in the columns that I want. while still being able to get onto it from the central platform. But obviously, that's silliness. Wait, I need to still have this stabbed. Hold on. Like I said, I remember it being a lot of pieces. Well, at this point, you know what we could do? I could just walk it back down here and we could stab it from here. That's annoying. Wait. Do I need to get them? Because the thing is, I could set this up such that the other one was up there already and not in the way. Right? Like, what if we did this? I think this might actually be what I did the last time, was just have them both up here already. So we'll do that, so you're kind of out of the way. We'll set this one up to get stabbed. No, I need to walk off while I'm holding... Yeah, okay. That's right. You can tell my brain's a little scattered because I have already spent a lot of our puzzle juice. And I apologize for that. This might be a short episode. Or the momentum might do incredible things for us. We'll see. No, this sausage has to be stabbed from the top. This is mostly right, except... Or this sausage has to be stabbed from the bottom because I have to drop the sausage. Which is to say that it goes here. There we go. Okay, now we get on top of this. There it is. And then we can walk this to here. Push it back into position. Push this down on... Oh, sorry, do that with your backside. Because if you do it with your front side, Steven is very quick to grab that fork, is what we've learned. Hold on. I have to first go here to adjust the relative positions of the sausages. Then we put this back in position. There we go. And this is the spot we were in. Okay. So you roll this forward. Yeah, it just, you know, in my brain, you push that upward and then it falls. I did not count on Steven's incredible twitch reflexes. He's unstoppable. Somebody should recruit him to play Counter-Strike. Wait, sorry. I want to walk that other sausage needs to go all the way up. That's why this looked different. Okay, there we go. And we just walk off, and that is at least one puzzle solved per episode. The SB guarantee remains intact. All right. So there's still this one, the dead end, which sure does seem dead. Okay, I still don't understand that one. We'll come back later. There are other things that we can do that make more sense. But I do have to get out of this, like, nightmare corner of the area. So where are the remaining puzzles? I don't remember exactly how many we have left, but I think it was only like 2 or 3, maybe? Okay, there's this thing. We'll come back to that. Was there anything else? Yeah, there's a couple. Let's do this one. You know, some good old open baths. All right, now, one thing I'm thinking immediately here is they give us this ladder. There's no reason we would ever want to go back up there after we roll the sausage down, right? Oh, no, it could just be for leaving. I was going to say, it must be the case that you have to come down here before you roll the sausage down, because why else would the ladder be there? But the ladder is there so you can escape the puzzle. That makes sense. So the puzzle could very well begin with the sausage, the roll off. The roll off, and as such, the fork drop. It probably does. So the problem with this puzzle was I was trying to figure out a way to get our fork into a position where I can access it on the right side of the puzzle. Yeah, because these left two sausages are already, are trivially cooked. It might still be the case that you're supposed to come down here and prep something before you do the roll. What would that be? We have the ability to move this horizontally laid sausage around. Hard to imagine any value in it, though. I could move it left, thus allowing me to roll that top sausage across it. If I do that, I'm for sure not going to drop my fork at any point, though. Right? That creates a situation where you don't ever fall far enough. Is that good? Is that a thing I want? It feels like I can already get down here with my fork. You know? And it's not a problem to get the fork back once we do the fork drop maneuver, because we can just roll it off of the horizontal sausage. It's really no problem to get the fork to here. But in order for this to work, but the fork is facing right when we drop it. So in order for this to work, I need to get the fork to here. Or yeah, dropping it here doesn't help because it's facing the wrong way. So here would be okay, or I would have to figure something else out. So there's a version of this where we get the fork on top of this thing. We slide this thing across here, right? We just move it all the way across there. And then once it's in this position, I find a way to roll it northward. Actually, with the fork being on either half of it, it would be sufficient, because it'll drop the fork either here or here, and both of those are recoverable spaces, because we can just walk up through this thing once we no longer have our fork in hand. I feel like this is what I was trying to do before, and I could not figure out a way to do it, but that doesn't mean there isn't a way to do it. It just means I couldn't figure one out. So let's start there. Is there a reason to not just roll this thing off the side? Or to slide this thing off the side? I guess the reason would be that you would want to get this thing under it before you do so, which actually seems pretty sensible. If we're going to move it over, it's got to get carried some of that way. Oh, except I got it. I do have to execute one of those tiles of pushing before we move this thing. Otherwise, there's no place to push it from. Okay, so something like this. Move this friend over to here. And then we go roll. And this allows me to adjust its horizontal position, or its vertical position, without rolling it, which is critical. And you do that, and then if you could just roll it northward, you're good, you're golden, you're solid. Caveat, problem. You for sure cannot roll it northward. Okay, but if I could turn this sausage that's next to me horizontal, then we could execute the same, like, northern movement by just having the two sausages next to each other. So one of them rolls the fork onto the other. And then we could, once we get to this space, lay the second sausage in these tiles, push it upward, and it'll roll that and drop the fork there, and then we're good. Bob is our uncle, as they say. And I don't know why that's such a good thing, but it seems that everybody's pleased. Everybody's pleased to have Bob being... English has a lot of weird colloquialisms. 80% of the time they go back to like horse breeding or ship ownership. And that's why they seem so weird, because these are things that 99.9% of people have no context for in the modern world. Okay. So if I was going to try to rotate this sausage... See, this is where it might actually be helpful to do a little bit of prep work, right? Because I can get it to drop onto this platform. Although, again... Oops. Actually, never mind. This really doesn't work, does it? Because all I can do right now is step onto this thing, which is of 0 value, or continue dropping this, and I can't. There's no way off of it now. Yeah, I don't know if there is a way to rotate this. I mean, I could certainly get myself down there with the fork and everything, and it is aligned such that I should be able to, like, if I set it here, we could climb up. But see, if I'm in this square holding the sausage like this, I can't scrape it off. Well, I can if this sausage is in these two spaces, though. And then I can roll... I can turn around on that sausage, exit the platform without disturbing it. But no, once it's hanging off of here, it's not a thing I can... What I need to do is get it so that I can get under it somehow, right? That's the old secret sauce. And I don't... There's no way to get it from this position to this position, I don't think. I don't... Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. At the risk of not running the plan all the way to its exit here, I just don't see how I would ever... Okay, because you would do this. You're gonna need your fork back. Well, okay, there's a second problem. This plan involves the use of the fork at this point. Can I get rid of it again? Isn't all this for naught if I am holding the fork? How would I get it to slide down so that it's hanging out over the ladder, right? If I could do it, it's easy enough to imagine the get up here, turn around, get back down the ladder with the sausage hanging over the other side, and then turn myself sideways and walk past the overhang so that it knocks the sausage off my head, and then we have two sideways sausages. Second problem, in the end, how am I going to cook that? I guess is also a concern. We have a really easy cook for a vertical and a horizontal. We do not have such an easy time for two horizontal ones. Yeah, no, that's a problem. Okay, so this plan breaks in like 3 different ways, right? If I can't get the fork back out of my hands, What am I supposed to do? So I feel like we're we're good up to about here. This is solid. I must drop the fork. But thence, friends, thence. Actually, hey. Hey now, I got a question. All this talk about rotating sausages. What happens? Can I make this? Is this going to work? I think I actually want this here. All right, so we slide this down and then roll this over. So the sausage is hanging over my head. And then we step up onto here. Because the thing is, if I could turn the sausage around by turning... If I can turn the fork around this way by turning the sausage around, then the places that we can get the fork to are already good enough. Right? It is trivial for us to drop the fork in this tile. And if it's in here in this orientation, then I just walk around, grab it, do the thing with this sausage. And then we already talked about last time how it's definitely possible to get back with the fork in hand. But I have to dismount like this. Is there a way to... No, there's not a way to push this sausage out of the way while keeping the other sausage hanging there, because it's like fucking... This would be a lot easier if this one was vertically aligned. But the funny part is, the work that I would do to get this vertically aligned solves the other problem too, right? We could just set it, get it the rest of the way turned around. So I can't get back... Well, I can get down onto this sausage. Oh, actually... Okay, so... I want to end up... Because we need to be facing this way to dismount. I need the fork to do a 180. I need it to be facing exactly... Oops. I need to turn it twice. So once, twice. On this... Oh, shit. On this ledge. And then we just undo. Y'all! Oh, nope. Can't do that. Must be very careful not to put the sausage over top of any solid ground. Y'all, I think that's a solution. Put this here. Put that there. Right? Is this going to break down anywhere? Maybe this part's going to be harder than I think. I might have needed to prep this thing's position already. Nope, seems fine. Alright, and like I said, we can definitely do this. We just couldn't go the other way with the fork. Yo! Okay, alright. I'm pretty jazzed about that, actually. So what, 2 left? Well, there's 2 over here, and then there's the one that's impossible. Which I'm sure will get on impossible somehow. Nope, there's like 3. Gosh, there's so much. Gosh, there's so much to do yet. Y'all, have I seen this one? Is this one new? This is interesting. I can almost maneuver through here. Yeah, there's no turning once you're in there. And there's no way to do this with the fork facing upward. Alright, so we have to do a standard fork drop in order to access the other sausage. However, without the fork, I can't actually maneuver that sausage. Yeah, unless I'm forgetting something, I think we might not have seen this one yet. Am I missing a way that I could get up there with the fork? Because it seems necessary. I mean, I could certainly climb onto this sausage here. And then roll this over. I mean, this doesn't help. This will let me cook half of that sausage and then just come back, right? This is definitely not a problem that is solved by just impaling something. Yeah, interesting. How do you affect that rightmost sausage at all? And also, how did I miss an entire puzzle? It is not very difficult for me to get it pushed upward, but it's just, I don't think it can possibly be the case that pushing it upward helps. Why is this built like this? Why does this space go up that far? Boy. How do we affect that? So I can drop my fork, right? Easy enough to drop my fork. It's gotta be in one of these things where I pick the fork up elsewhere, right? Okay, so I stick the maybe I have it. Maybe it is we get the fork stuck in this sausage, and then we leave the sausage. Okay, here's the thought. If I get my fork stuck in this sausage, in the top, sort of the right side of the northern part of it, we can push this thing up into the two spaces up there, leave this here, walk around forkless, come here, grab the fork, pull it free, stab this thing, move it away from the wall. But with it stabbed in that way, I can't actually scrape it off anywhere. Yeah, shoot, the only way to get rid of it would be to stab it. Because if I have it stabbed in its northern half, I can scrape it off on this thing. If I have it scrapped on, or grabbed by its southern half, I can't get far enough south. I can't actually get past any of these things to get rid of it. So, fuck. So it would seem that I need to be able to stab it in the northern part, which means that it needs to not be moved north. But how am I ever going to have my fork up there? I'm gonna have to rotate this sausage. It's the only way, right? Because I can reclaim my sausage I can reclaim my fork from this sausage if it's horizontal. There's several places I could slide it across. So how am I going to make that work? You have to get your fork stuck in it. Have to get it to... Okay. How about this? We're going to stab it in the other side. No, wait, sorry. It has to be stabbed in the top tile. So it's this tree is... There we go. All right, so we scrape this off here. Probably actually want it to be there. Now, nope. Sorry, gotta do this, and then this. We gotta drop the fork, right? Obviously, critically important, drop the fork. Oh. Actually, this does need to be in those tiles because this is the only way to dismount. So we can come down here, dismount. Now we want to push the fork off of here. And I want to get it stuck in this sausage by backing into it. How would I ever get this rotated? Because if I don't have it rotated, none of the places that I can leave it allow me to grab it. And like the reason we have a horizontal break off tree here is so that we can execute so I need to get the sausage up on something so that I can come up underneath it. But is there a way to do that? I mean, like, obviously I can get it up onto something, but I have to get it up onto something while I have the ability to get down underneath it and then climb back up below it. That's the part that I don't know if I see a way to do. I cannot get the sausage elevated in any way without it being stabbed, right? There's simply no way for me to move it up aside from having it stabbed while I climb. So I'm going to have my fork at the time of doing that. Yeah, the problem is every way that we might do this involves having another object over here, right? It can't be the fork. I need something for the sausage to fall on. But it can't be the fork because the fork is necessary for me to lift the sausage. And it can't be the other sausage because this is all the stuff I have to do to get access to the other sausage. But that would seem to suggest that there is simply no way to do this, which we know is wrong. So one of those two reads is wrong, or there's a way to generate another object. The only way to separate the fork from my hands is to execute the fall so the sausage is necessarily on the bottom floor when that happens. There's no way for it to be up on anything. Yeah, and really there's no other way to do this. Like, this part's right, because I do have to dismount the sausage. Yeah, and this is all built so that it's, well, you know, I was about to say this is built so it's possible to come back with your fork, but actually, is it? If we were over here and we had the fork, would we be able to return? We go like this. You turn upward, you back up, and then you're stuck. So whatever the solution is, it's going to involve not having the fork when we make the trip back. Or no, sorry, I'm being silly. Once we've dealt with this thing, we can just back into that space, and then yeah, we can absolutely get back with our fork once the sausage is out of the way. Once we have been able to stab it in its top right quadrant. Well, maybe it's a push the. No, it's not a push the fork through the puzzle thing, because you could easily move the fork to here, come around, push it through, but at some point you're going to reach this junction, and this junction is not solvable by just pushing the block. And you could use the sausage to bump the fork through here, but only if it was horizontal. Yeah, I think I'm still on. I think I'm still on the plan of we must find a way to horizontalize this sausage. I think that's. But I'm having a hard time seeing it, is all. Out of curiosity. Yeah, this does not allow me to do anything. Okay. Is there any benefit to it at all? Wouldn't seem so. Yeah, Oh, right, of course. That's not a real problem. The orientation is wrong, but that's like very easily solved by just making this occur one tile over. I'm just like, at this point, triple checking, darn it, triple checking assumptions, like actually doing the thing where we walk it all the way through. Okay. So if I push it down to, these two tiles, such that I could retrieve it here, and then pull back and get my fork free, obviously I can no longer move from there. There is this thing, which seemed to me like it wouldn't work. And I still think that, but it does at least allow me to touch this. And like now we're over here and we have our fork. But yeah, once we are in this position, we can no longer interact with the puzzle world in any meaningful way. Phooey. We certainly couldn't push this any further north. No, I think I was right. This is definitely not an available solution. Everything that I can see would certainly seem to suggest that this is a puzzle about turning this sausage sideways, and I am wondering if the fact that I got that in my brain now means that I'm going to have a hard time seeing whatever other solutions may exist, because everything I'm looking at things in that way, right? Like, how exactly would I use this to turn this sausage? And then the other question, if this puzzle is not about turning this sausage and then, knocking it off my head, what is this tree for? That sure would seem to be like the only thing the tree does, right? There's no other way for me to set up a fall. I feel like the bit that I'm missing here must not be very large. It's just like... how to get a sausage on top of your head from the ground. I can't roll the sausage off of this platform horizontally in any other two rows and still be able to dismount, right? Ooh, actually, is that true? Here's a question. No, okay, there's definitely no ladder on the back side of this platform. And in fact, there's no ground on the back side of this platform. So, okay, it's not a sneaky issue of an unseen ladder, which it, could have been. What about... we certainly can't push it any further south, because it'll end up just being next to the east of, or west rather, to the west of the ladder, the space with the ladder on it. We won't be able to climb back up. Or rather, we won't be able to climb down off of it in any way. I could... that, obviously. Well, I can't get on top of it this way. They won't let me just drop the fork. Right, like this causes me to not climb down the ladder, not to drop the fork, right? Yeah, it has to be falling. I mean, it has to be that. That is an actual necessity of the puzzle at some point. But if I could figure out how to turn the sausage, like the dropping of the fork does not necessarily have to be before the turning of the sausage, right? It is not impossible. Yeah, it's not impossible to perform the drop horizontally. All right, so let's say we're putting the fork onto the sausage. Does that make sense? Is it useful to put the fork onto the sausage? I could get the fork onto my own head somehow, right? We could use the tree for that. It's very difficult to imagine that being useful, but I guess it's something to do. Again, when you think you've thought of everything, try whatever is left. Sometimes works. What happens if the fork's on my own head? Well, I mean, it's easy enough to turn it. Although, again, we're in this situation where all it really does is let me drop it from... Well, it lets me drop it facing either way. Is that actually helpful? Because I could drop it... Actually, I could drop it facing any direction I want to drop it in. Oh, wait. No, that is totally helpful, actually. So, yeah, that was all I needed. I need to drop it facing upward. Because I had already been like, just pushing the fork through the puzzle isn't going to do it. But actually, in this one orientation, it does do it. Because now we can just, yep, that's it. That took a really long time for me to see, and I'm a little embarrassed. So I want to go here, here, here. Roll. Get back. Okay. I was right that something had to get turned. And listen, as frustrating as that may have been for everyone, that is 3 solutions in an episode. So that's pretty good. Hard to be too mad about that. I do think that I am probably just gonna get frustrated looking at these other 2 for 10 minutes. I don't know that I have a solution in me in the next 10 minutes. What I do have, though, is a quick walk around. So we discovered a new puzzle somehow, as though the game were generating them to punish me. But at this point, the apparently impossible puzzle barred for the moment, I do believe we are looking at just 2 more. We're actually almost done with this area. So there's this, right? There's this grill over here on what appears to be an island. Yeah, I'm fair sure that is an island. How am I gonna... Huh. Maybe the answer lies across here? Maybe once we get all of the other puzzles done, this will turn into a sausage and we'll be able to look around and see if we can influence the environment in some way. It's really the only way I can imagine this working at this point. So, 2 puzzles left in this particularly challenging fork dropping region. That is going to be it for us for today, though. I think I know when to take the win and call it. So thank you all so much for watching. When you return next time, hopefully we're gonna finish this one. I'm gonna look at these until I have an idea on at least one of them. So yeah, decent odds. I would say 30% odds we're gonna clear this area and finally be looking at some new puzzles. I'm excited. I hope you are as well, and we'll see you then.